The 49ers are only going to get better. Hopefully, stick around. At the end of this video, you will feel more confident that the 49ers are still getting better, still have room to grow, and there are a lot of pieces to the puzzle still be put together. But first, we have to do some quick hits. As a quick aside, there were some big winners in the 49ers game last night. Let's take a quick look at just the stats as you can see them. The stats, if you pull the score out of the game, the stats look a little bit more befitting to the Seahawks than they deserve. Man, the 49ers absolutely destroyed them. Huge game for McCaffrey, huge game for Debo. I think Debo needed that, keeping that positivity and building that confidence. He looked like a man on fire last night. If you look at, and I think Purdy, 3 in a row, coming after 3 losses. This was good, and it was a good game for Purdy outside of a couple drives and that deflected pick 6, which was so bizarre, by the way. That little under center step back into shotgun thing just didn't work. Both times he tried it in the same drive, there's a deflection. The second time was a pick 6. The first time could have been a pick 6. Just the luck of the ball and the way it deflected. But overall, I felt like he was super dynamic when he needed to be. He was boring when you needed him to be, just a pocket passer. So overall, very happy with Purdy's performance. Javarius Ward, man. Whew, my goodness, he's incredible. He was playing outside of his mind last night. And he was playing best cornerback in the league kind of football. If he could keep that up all season long, he's in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year if he could play like that. Now, the stats don't tell that story. The stats, unfortunately for defensive players, a lot of times don't tell the story unless you're a defensive end or something like that. It just doesn't translate, right? It doesn't look like anything special. In fact, that wasn't even the game stats. Hold on. Game stats here. Javarius Ward. 5 tackles, 3 solo tackles. It does not even come close to the type of game he had. Quick, before I move on we have to talk about the first half stats. The first half is really where this game was won. Yes, Brandon Aiyuk, we'll come back to him in a minute. Super important in the second half, but the first half is really where the game was won. The Seahawks have 7 minutes, 30 seconds on the ball. They're fortunate to get a few points on the board in the first half. And even then, like those points that they only had 3 total first downs, right? Now that time of possession is not on here if you're looking for it. Sorry, I think it was like 7 minutes, 30 seconds. But the thing that's crazy is we shut them down so hard all first half. If we didn't have that special teams blunder on that punt or the kick return, then I don't think they even get points on the board. The 3 first downs isn't going to get you there if you have to move the entire field, right? Some other notes there, just in terms of total yards. This is just embarrassing. Sure, we had room to improve. We weren't perfect either, but pretty darn impressive if you ask me. Let's see here. So, what are we missing? I told you that there's room for this 49ers team to grow. Let's talk about a couple players, starting, of course, with Brandon Aiyuk. Outstanding player, and I feel like just totally missing in the first half of the game. So for us to be as good as we were, I think you understand it. If you think about it in terms of the type of teams that you're playing, San Francisco 49ers against the Seattle Seahawks, this is a ground and pound kind of rough and tough kind of matchup. You look at the score line, it doesn't look like a ground and pound kind of matchup, but you could see the way that it was handled. Very much on the ground, very much run heavy. Lots of different creative plays, screens to Debo. It just worked out that way. But there was so much left available, including Aiyuk. Look at his stats, by the way. I was just looking at this. He is on pace right now to have the season of his life. And he doesn't get hardly maybe 1 target in the first half, and they had a deflected ball by the defense. So maybe that's why. I'm trying to remember what happened there. Just not enough looks for Aiyuk in the first half. And of course, when it mattered, he came in strong and showed everybody why he should be getting those looks. Second one, George Kittle, guys. I mean, he is nowhere near his all-time great season. And you know that season, it's 2019, an important season, of course. And if we want to be that kind of Niners, no, we don't want to be that kind of Niners. Let me rephrase. If we want to have that kind of dynamic offense that wins Super Bowls, man, it's gonna help to have him more involved than just blocking. Good blocker, that's great, nothing wrong with that. But I really believe, you look at I'm not saying that we want to be the New England Patriots, but you look at the best New England Patriots teams with Rob Gronkowski, he can be that guy. If you look at the Travis Kelce best games as a Kansas City Chief, he could be that guy. Not saying we want him to be that guy, but I'm saying he can be that guy. And those kinds of elements on this team make the Niners such an incredibly difficult team to play against. So, look, I'm not saying change the offense. I really am not trying to say that. I'm just saying make sure that we're using all of the weapons we have to the best of our ability, because we are already hard to beat as it is. The Seahawks learned that, as I anticipated last night. But this 49ers team is packed with weapons, and if we can get all cylinders firing at the same time, how do you stop this team? If everybody's playing like they can play, how do you stop this team? If Debo is last night's Debo, if McCaffrey is McCaffrey every time he gets the ball, if Purdy plays like he's been playing the last couple games, and then you add in that Ayuk could have had way more targets, add in that Kittle could have also been an out guy at the right time, this team is so hard to defend against. So hard to defend against. You can't lock down one section of this team because this team is way too talented. Quick look at the NFC standings as well while we're on it. Room to grow. Yes, we do have room to grow, but look around the league for a second. I mean, let's start with the NFC South. That's all. We don't need to talk about the NFC South. The Lions, looking at the NFC North, Lions, they are beatable, guys. This team is beatable, and they think they're hot stuff, but they're learning right now. At the wrong time in the season, they are struggling. We are turning it on and figuring it out again at the right time of the season. This is the right time of the season for us to have already had our blunder, had our bye week. Now we have a long week to the next game. This is perfect timing for us. Of course, a big game up against the Eagles. They're definitely the other team to beat. But when you look around the league, yeah, the Cowboys, they could be, if they can turn it on and keep it on at the right time, and if their defense can continue to play outstanding, then yes, they could also be a team to beat. But just looking, I think there's a way in which we have a lock in getting through to the NFC Championship game. I mean, man, if we can keep figuring this out and keep playing like we are playing, there's not a lot that can stand in front of us, in my opinion. And we have more room to grow. I'm going to just quickly tease our safety options, some great articles out there about what is this advertisement? About what we can do about finishing up our 53-man roster, because it's not done. So please come back for more. Like, subscribe, and come back to make sure that you keep up on all the information and the most recent 49ers news as much as we can. Let's go.